Hi everyone, my name is Emily Terpak and I'm a realtor in Philadelphia and the surrounding suburbs in Pennsylvania and South Jersey. In this video, I'm going to go through the top 6 mistakes that sellers make when they list their home. So keep watching to learn more. The first mistake is not editing down your furniture and home decor. I'm looking at you, Jeremy, with the Pokemon collection. Paring down is okay. When buyers enter your home, they're not going to say, this house was great and all, but why didn't the seller have their snow globe collection displayed? You want buyers to see your home, not your stuff. You want them to notice how large a room is, and all that extra stuff is actually just going to take away from that. The second mistake is being okay with subpar listing photos. Next to the price, the first thing a buyer is going to look at are the listing photos online. Photos are really the first line of defense. If a buyer doesn't like the house from the photos, the chances of them scheduling a showing are almost none. And you might be wondering, what does she mean by bad listing photos? Like, what constitutes a bad listing photo? So this is what I'm referring to. And this, here's another one. These are real listing photos that I found online. And believe it or not, I didn't have to look that hard. And when I see photos like this, I can't help but wonder if the seller even looked at their own listing online to see the photos. It's crazy. The third mistake is restricting showings. As a seller, you want to make it as easy as possible for a buyer to see your property. And you might be thinking, oh, the buyer will just, reschedule if I have to decline the showing. But people are busy, and you'd actually be surprised to learn how many buyers don't make another appointment. As a buyer's agent, I see it time and time again. And if they've made a couple of attempts to see your property and their showing requests keep getting declined, the buyer will usually say something like, well, if the sellers are being this difficult now, this is a bad sign. Now, obviously, there are exceptions to everything. Let's say you have a newborn, okay, and you can't allow showings during their nap time. That's okay. But if you can technically make the day and time work, even if it's ever so slightly inconvenient for you, do not cancel the showing request. I promise you it's not worth it. The fourth mistake is not considering staging, or at least light staging. Staging is helpful for homes that already have furniture and just need something extra, or are completely empty and vacant. You would think it would be the opposite, but rooms actually look bigger when there's furniture in them. Furniture makes a buyer realize that they can fit, a queen or a king-size bed in that room. Without furniture, buyers actually start to question what really works in that space. Also, let's be honest, interior design trends change, and as an owner, it's hard to keep up. So staging can at least help bring your house up to date and make it more attractive to a buyer. It can also help buyers visualize what to do with any dead space in your home. So rather than a buyer saying, what would I do with this space? Or, this house didn't make good use of their space. Instead, they'll say, oh, that's the perfect use of space once they see it all outfitted. The fifth mistake is having very specific paint colors in your home. Peach, dark purple, cobalt blue. These are a no, I'm afraid. Heck, even take my office as an example. I happen to like this color. But I know it's not for everyone. So good thing I live here for now, but when I go to sell my home, I pretty much know I'm going to have to repaint. The sixth and final mistake is probably the most important one, and that is pricing your property too high. It doesn't matter what market we're in, pricing your property too high will not work out in your favor. First of all, buyers are smart. They know what houses are worth. Not to mention, if the buyer is getting a loan, the lender is going to actually require an appraisal of the property. And while a buyer might have an emotional reaction to your house and be willing to pay a certain amount, maybe list price, an appraiser is looking at it from an entirely different perspective. They want to make sure that the house isn't overpriced in case the buyer defaults on their loan and the bank now needs to sell the property to recoup their money. Appraisers have no emotion. They're looking at facts and numbers. So if your house is overpriced, the appraisal is going to be an issue. And if the appraisal is an issue, it can kill a deal. Secondly, let's say your house is truly worth $500,000, but you want to list it at $550 just to see how it goes. just know that it's not going to show up in a lot of people's searches. I know if my clients are only approved up to $500,000, I'm not putting their budget as $550,000 on their property search. And most buyers don't want to look above their budget because think about it, who wants to look at houses out of one's reach? So there's a huge chance that your potential buyer won't even see your listing. Now you might be thinking, well, if they really like the property, they'll just see the property and offer less. Think again. When a buyer sees a house online that's clearly overpriced, they usually respond with, well, there's no point in seeing that house if that's what they want for it. That means they won't even schedule a showing, let alone put a lower offer in. And lastly, the more buyers you get through your home, the more of a chance there is of you getting an offer. By overpricing your house, you automatically reduce the amount of buyers that will see your property, which will in turn reduce the probability of you getting an offer. Now listen, I'm not saying to price your property too low, but it should be priced at market value. Thank you for watching. Be sure to tap that like button and click here to subscribe. And for more videos, click here and here.